What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn, and today we are going to be previewing the 49ers' final matchup of 2020 against their division rival, Seattle Seahawks. Real quick, Happy New Year, since this is scheduled to come out on New Year's. Hope you all had a safe New Year's Eve, and hopefully 2021 brings a much better year to all of us than 2020 did.
Get out of here, 2020.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah. So 2021 is where it's at. And hopefully come 2022, I'm not eating my words here. But Happy New Year, everybody. I hope your New Year's filled with love and joy and positivity. I know we all deserve it. So, Matt, this game last season was a lot more exciting. There was so much more on the line. This year's a little different. What are you still looking forward to seeing? How do you envision it going?
First of all, let me address this. I'm doing this now. Usually we do the live show, but I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be visiting my mother. I'm going to be gone. I'll be back for the reaction show. But I just wanted to kind of touch base on Seattle because, Seattle's the arch rival. That's the big game. Everybody's super excited about that. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen. I think even us as guys who have been like, oh, we want the 49ers to have really good draft position. Even then, we're like, oh, we hate the Seahawks, so I'd rather see it beat the Seahawks. That's fine. What I'm looking for is how the 49ers come off of a victory and, in Arizona's house, kind of, and then return and have the Seahawks come in and see what you can do there. The real big thing that we need to look at is CJ Beathard going to be starting again? Or because they've opened up Jimmy Garoppolo's practice window, is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be healthy enough to give it a go? And will the team play him if he's ready to go? I know Kyle has said he's not going to play Jimmy until he's 100%, but, who knows if that's going to be, this week or if he's just going to hold them out. I think the game goes one of two ways. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays, the 49ers actually have a shot at winning this game. If CJ Beathard starts, this game will be over by halftime. And it's really going to be, we saw the impact that George Kittle had when he came back. The running game exploded because he's such a good run blocker. Now think about Jimmy Garoppolo as not the guy as we all, feel, right? We don't think he's the guy. But in comparison to CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins, he's far and away better. I mean, it's plain and simple. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the record. I know quarterback wins aren't really a stat. But when you have the same team and the only thing that's really different is the quarterback and the wins are that far apart, I feel like it's a little more reliable to judge based off of. So if he can come back, if he can play, the 49ers have a real shot. If it's CJ Beathard, they're going to get blown out and, we're looking at a 6-10 season. So it'll be interesting to see how Jimmy's health progresses over the week. And if the team feels confident enough to actually give it a go. Because if they do put Jimmy out there and for whatever reason, he's 100% healthy, right? They're saying he's 100% healthy. He goes out there and struggles. Now we have an extra wrinkle to the do 49ers go quarterback in the draft this year. Because if he comes out and lays an egg, I think that you really have to step up on that. Hey, we can get rid of Jimmy. We can save ourselves $25 million. Maybe we develop Josh Rosen, keep CJ Beathard around as like the coach's mascot or whatever, and then you play your Zach Wilson or your Justin Fields day one because it can't be any worse, right? Like if you're trying to get a guy ready, automatically right off the top, you draft a quarterback in the top 10, it gives your coach an extra year of development time in terms of their job. Their job is safe at least for one extra year than it otherwise would have been. And so if the 49ers don't compete next year, then you're looking at 2022 as the sophomore year for the rookie quarterback, right, of the new quarterback, takes that quantum leap forward. You have cap savings. Now you've re-signed Fred Warner. You re-signed Trent Williams. You get some cap relief as, the COVID cap hit kind of goes away and you get back up to a more normal cap. You have incoming free agents. You have all this other stuff, potentially 2 third-round picks from Robert Saleh leaving. You start filling in your depth spots, and you have quarterback play that's far and above away what Jimmy Garoppolo was giving you. And now all of a sudden you're a contender for the next 5-10 years. You're consistently making the playoffs. So depending on what happens this week, this will speak to the 49ers future far beyond what 6-10 versus 7-9 will be.
Yeah, I mean, it really seems like a lot can
Yeah.
potentially ride on this game. And I think that just based on alone the fact that if Jimmy is healthy enough to play and he doesn't, that speaks volume to what they think of him moving forward. And you
Yeah.
can either view that one of two ways. You can view that as one, they want to protect any trade value they think he might have, and risking him playing and worsening that trade value is not something they feel comfortable doing. Or two, he's coming back next year and they don't want to risk any further injury.
Right.
If he's healthy, the team says he's healthy and they don't play him, I think those are the only two ways to view it. Now, if they do trot him out there, you could see that again as they want him to accrue any additional trade interest and value as possible, or they want to see an extra game under his belt for them to make an informed decision as to what to do with the position next year. The win against Arizona in Week 16 really, reduced their chances of getting a guy, at least without giving up a whole lot. A guy like
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, possibly even Trey Lance, depending on how that top 10 shakes out in the draft. So it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. Do they remain with CJ no matter what, no matter if Jimmy says he's healthy, if the team says he's healthy? Do they stick with CJ and just say it's one game, it makes no difference to anybody? Do they want to see what Jimmy has? And then the guys that have had sort of career years, a guy like Jeff Wilson, a guy like Kerry Hyder, a guy like Jason Verrett, are they able to finish off the year in a positive way to confirm to either the 49ers or to the other 31 teams they deserve a contract in the NFL, starting or competing for a starting gig? I really do feel these three guys are going to be good wherever they are. I hope the majority of them are able to come back with the 49ers. I understand the cap is a difficult thing to work around, especially this year. The 49ers are strapped for cash. The cap is reducing due to COVID. They're in a tough position, which is why it makes this whole Jimmy Garoppolo all that more difficult, because they got a strong decision to make, and hopefully they're able to restructure that contract. But if not, I don't know how this plays out. I really don't. So there's so many storylines going into Week 17. I'm excited to see how it works.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like you said, the cap is going to be different. Are they going to restructure Jimmy and, maybe convert a lot of his salary into a signing bonus to free up some cap space? If they aren't able to restructure Jimmy, do they outright release him? I think that a lot of that is going to be answered, pretty quickly in terms of, as soon as the Super Bowl is done, you got to get ready for the combine. You're going to know by the combine if you want to go up and get a guy. And then definitely by draft day, I think it'll be readily apparent if the 49ers trade up and pick a quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo is as good as gone. But I do think that the magic day for this is going to be March 1st when free agency opens. At the beginning of free agency, that's when you're really going to see, because you're going to have to do something with Jimmy at that point. I know we'd love to wait for the draft, but I think that once you get to free agency, they have so many guys that they need to re-sign. 40 upcoming free agents and in key positions. Don't be surprised if by the end of the Super Bowl, the 49ers announced like day one of the new league year that they've released Jimmy Garoppolo. It would be unfortunate. It would be a disappointing end to something that started out with a lot of promise and has kind of ended in frustration. But at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo will have missed parts or all of 26 out of 48 possible games with the 49ers since signing that contract. And that's just not good enough. So it remains to be seen, but I think a big part of that plays this weekend with Seattle. I'd like to see, I'd like to see a strong finish of the season for Brandon Ayuk, who was largely forgotten today. I'm sorry, not today. Saturday. Against the Arizona Cardinals. He didn't really have a role. It seemed like, again, what these backup quarterbacks do, they focus on George Kittle, who's such a good player that he makes everything easy. But I would like to see Ayuk, who 2 weeks ago we were talking about, hey, man, is he potentially going to be the first ever 49ers rookie to have 1,000 yards receiving? Obviously, that's out the window. have your guys finish healthy. See guys that you may potentially want to keep or not. I think that Ahkello Witherspoon getting an interception may make the 49ers want to play him and see what they have. I know his value is really low, and I actually do think they're going to bring him back on a cheaper deal because he has no value at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back on a cheap deal just because that secondary room was going to get cleaned out this year. Jaquan Chart, I think, is gone. For sure, he's gone. Jason Verrett, do you risk re-signing the guy? A lot of those answers are going to come. I think K'Wan Williams is a must re-sign. There are guys that you need to take the steps to kind of keep. Seattle is going to put that secondary under a harsh microscope. They are a prolific offense. They traditionally give the 49ers fits on defense. It's going to be interesting. And then the other thing that I want to touch on is this game is more than likely the swan song for Robert Saleh. It's going to mark the end of his time in San Francisco. He's probably going to get a coaching gig and be gone elsewhere. I want to see what he does as his finale as the 49ers head coach, defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just about to bring up. It's likely his last time with the team. Do they go out and give it their all for him? And whether that ends in a win or not, I do think this defense is going to do exactly that. I think they're going to ball out. I think they're going to play their hardest for
me too.
Coach Saleh because they absolutely adore the man. And rightfully so. He's given every indication that he's a fantastic coach, an even better person. This team is willing to lay out and die for the guy, essentially, give their bodies for him. So I do think that they're going to play as hard as they can for Robert Saleh, who's likely on his way to a head coaching gig within the next couple of months here. But yeah, there's a lot of storylines going into this season, going into this final game of the season. And although the year did not pan out the way all of us envisioned, there's still some positives to take away from it. Guys who wouldn't have otherwise had a shot at even playing meaningful minutes and having success. The three guys that I mentioned earlier, Kerry Hyder, Jeff Wilson, who had a bit of a breakout year last season, but followed it up with an even better year. Jason Verrett, the complete, comeback player of the 49ers.
Yeah.
Nobody expected him to be even remotely good after the tenure he's had with the team, full of injuries. And the one play he came in, he was laughably bad against the Steelers last season where he got burnt and then magically placed on IR right after that. He came in this year, and I think it's not a stretch to say he's the best corner on the team right now. And he has been all year. So is that going to shape up into another contract with another team the 49ers can't afford to match? There's all these scenarios that are going to play out, and it all ends, I should say, this week and then starts again in the offseason. So there's a lot going on.
I actually do think listen, everybody, remember the Super Bowl team from last year? A lot of those players are here. Get a good look because the 2021 49ers are going to look drastically different. It's going to be a completely different team in terms of depth, in terms of who's starting where. Richard Sherman's likely gone. Jaquan Tartt's likely gone. You're looking at guys, maybe even – again, I'm going to say this. I think Jimmy Garoppolo likely gone. So you're looking at all this flux, all these players. Quan Alexander's gone. D Ford likely gone. Get used to it, guys, because the team, as we knew it from the Super Bowl run last year, is going to be gone and going to be changed. And I think that it can be changed for the better, provided that the front office does what we think they're capable of doing. But the Super Bowl 49ers from last year, they're not coming back. They're not walking through that door. It's going to be a tumultuous offseason. So it's almost like, the disappointing season. This is almost like, putting dirt over the coffin of that Super Bowl 49ers team. The window is shut, okay? But that doesn't mean that they can't immediately reopen another window. So depending on what they do, the 49ers can get back into playoff contention, and I expect them to do so. But it starts after next week against the Seattle Seahawks.
I think we're going to end it at that note. If you guys like our content, you think we're doing a great job covering the team, do us a solid, hit that subscribe button. It really does help. Like this video and drop a comment below. What are you looking forward to seeing in the 49ers final game of the 2020 year against Seattle Seahawks? Who are you looking forward to watching have a good game? Who are you going to be sad that will no longer be here, most likely? Drop your comments below. We can't wait to read them all. And again, Happy New Year.
Yeah, listen, the next time the 49ers play a home game after Seattle, let's hope it's back at Levi's, that everybody's settled down, everybody can get back to living their life, seeing their loved ones going out and doing the things they want to do. I wish everyone a healthy, wealthy, prosperous New Year's for 2021. Always click those notifications so you never miss another video. Thank you as always for joining us. It's a new year for 49ers Hive. We're going to be here for you guys for the long haul. So until next time, go Niners.